All right, let's go ahead and get started. Nice to see you again.
Yes, good to see you. Good to be with you.
Tax time can be extremely emotional. So it's a good time to check in with a little financial therapy. Why is it so emotional for us?
Yeah, when you say tax is an emotion, um, they it really brings out a lot of the emotion. Is when people think of taxes. We have found that the average person has 50 to 200 money scripts operating 24/7. A lot of times we're unaware of those; they're subconscious. When we work with folks, a large number of those money scripts or fraction can be due to taxes. It brings up a lot of very interesting behaviors.
All right, let's go through some of these one by one. And the first one, I'm sure you remember or have learned by now, is one of my favorites, which is because it hits close to home, which is money avoidance. I would rather not talk about it sometimes, which is why I have enjoyed our conversation so much because it welcomes me back to the table of talking about my money.
Yeah, absolutely. A money avoider, just in review, believes that money is bad. It's anxiety producing for them. Oftentimes, the money scripts that rich people are greedy. I find the main emotion around that can be fear. A lot of avoiders believe that they don't deserve money. So the thought of taxes, um, was talking with one of my associates today, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I once had a client that just decided the way they were going to handle their taxes is not pay them at all." And this was a client that owed millions of dollars and would say, "Yeah, I looked at that file and I just put it down. And I didn't look at it until next year." That's pretty severe avoidance when you just don't even pay or file for the taxes. But there's a lot of messages that go with that, like I'm incompetent, I don't understand this, I don't enjoy it, I don't want to deal with it, I don't even want to look at it. And a lot of that can be driven by fear and messages around that.
Yeah. Here's the way that I have dealt with that regarding taxes, and that is I found a tax preparer who's a really nice woman who I like to go see once a year. And so
Yeah.
then I don't think about it being taxes. I think now I get to go see her. Is won't that be nice? And then
Yeah.
and then I will show up. Are there other ways for avoiders to kind of confront some of those beliefs or feelings so that they can move forward with the work that really does need to be done?
Yeah, that what you've come up with is a really great way for an avoider to handle things. Is let somebody that loves to do it do it. And believe me, as hard as it is for an avoider to imagine this is true, there are people who love to fill out tax returns. I
Yeah.
love it. Um, a lot of it can be just looking at, what am I afraid of? What is it that money represents to me? Where did that start? Where did that come from? Was it taught to me by the parents? Just starting to try and understand the root of the message and the emotions behind it, and start some movement to putting in a different behavior in place. And maybe that's gathering all the receipts monthly, or doing some things that make it easier when tax time comes around.
All right. How about for people who have money status as their primary belief?
Yeah, these are folks that equate their net worth with their self worth. So they can believe that people aren't only as successful as the money they earn. And their main emotions can be pride and insecurity. So when they think about taxes, they can have thoughts that come up like some really pride. They can be very proud about the taxes they pay. That look at me. This is cool, and I'll tell everybody how much I pay in taxes. Um, they can also feel really prideful that they can hire the best professionals and pay less in taxes, kind of like another status type of a thing. Or they can also take on the idea of let me tell you all the ways that I avoid taxes, usually from a very self-satisfied or status, having status to present it that way.
All right. The people who worship money a little bit. How is that different?
Yeah. So they believe that things would always be better if I had a little bit more money, or that money is going to make me happier, or money will solve all of my problems. I think their main emotion is anger, and at tax time, uh, they do not really appreciate the government taking away their money. Um, and here is a really curious one. This particular type can want to avoid paying taxes at all costs. In other words, they are willing to have less wealth in order not to pay taxes.
Oh,
And you don't have to have a lot of money to be in this category. We see clients that are upset they don't have a mortgage payment anymore. Uh, uh, Write-offs are good, right? So let me go spend $1 so I can write off and save 10% of it, 20% of it in taxes. That makes no sense. You're still
uh,
out the other 80 cents. But it makes sense when the script is paying taxes are bad, and I will go to any extreme not to pay taxes. And we see this all the time,
wow.
like doing a Roth conversion, and maybe you're in the 10% tax bracket, or you pay zero, but you go on the 10% tax bracket, and you're like, no, no, I'll pay taxes. And yet we can show the person that they'll pay 22% of their income in taxes when they are old enough to take that out. So that money script gets in the way of doing financial planning all the time.
Money vigilance. Tell me about that. These are the people who are ready for tax season.
Oh, yeah. They're the folks that save, they save their receipts, they know what exactly is happening. Their main emotion is anxiety. Um, and their thoughts are like just anxiety around doing the taxes right, filling it out, getting it in on time, probably early. Sometimes it makes lots of sense to extend, right? You can extend your paying your taxes till October 15th. And there's some evidence that would suggest that your audit chances are lower if you file on October 15th. A money vigilant can hardly sit with that thought of extending past the 15th because they want to get it done. They want to get it over with. They want it to be correct. So they triple check everything. They often do their own taxes, which can actually result in them paying more in tax because they can be very secretive around letting anybody know what they make and what they're worth. So, and they also have scripts like tax preparers cost so much money. I'll just save that money,
Hmm.
right?
Sure. Are there, accountants or CPAs who are interested in financial therapy as well? Because we're talking about, you're a financial planner. We're talking about it because we know the emotion of this time frame. But I'm just curious if that is something. And do you know any in the financial therapy community that are also in the tax world specifically?
Yeah, I recently had a request for that from somebody who wanted to know if I knew a CPA that was also a financial therapist. I do believe that there's some financial therapists that have been CPAs. I can't name one right now, but I don't know of a practicing CPA who's also trained in financial therapy or is a financial therapist as such. I'm sure it's not going to be too long because it's actually a wonderful combination for all the reasons that we've talked
Yeah.
about. But yeah, I think someday you may go into your CPA and that they'll have the financial therapy division.
I'm sure I'm not the only person who has ever been stressed out or shed a tear or gotten in an argument over taxes. It's a difficult time of year. So, circling back with some of the ways that you can, if any of these sort of resonate with you and you say, yeah, that's me. So, try to ask yourself, what exactly is behind that? What are the, so give us a just quick down and dirty, like now I know that I have a name for something. How do I sort of process feeling some of those feelings?
Yeah, there's a number of ways of processing. Um, it's just huge to be able to first name the feeling that you're feeling,
Mm,
um, whether it's anger or fear or anxiety. And then some things that can work is like journaling, like what's coming up around this? What to try and get to those are original thoughts that they came where they came from. Maybe they've come from family thought that uh, all sorts of opinions around taxes or what to do around taxes and emotions. But I think just for a lot of us getting to the emotion, separating the emotion from the reaction,
mm,
like, why is it so important for me to pay no tax? What is that message? What is the feeling behind the message, which is so important to get to? And of course, if there's a financial therapist on your block, that's a good person to go try and process this with.
yeah. And you can go back and listen to all our conversations as well and follow Rick Kaler. Thank you so much for being here with us for this little check in.
Yes, it's delightful to be with you and such a pertinent topic for this time of year.